So if you guys remember last time we were here, you couldn't even see the property. There was trees mile high, the entire length of this property. You couldn't see anything. And that was the first stage of the purchase of the property. And now what's the second step is the demolition and getting the house ready for the actual remodel. So I'm here with Amit, the investor who bought the property, and we're just going to go over what happened from the time you purchased the property to where we are now, at least on the outside to start.
Yeah, so from the day that I purchased the property, it took us forever to actually be able to get inside. Day we closed on it, we ended up realizing that there was a water leak in the basement, and so the basement was soaked. I was able to get Bethpage water out here immediately. They turned the water off to the street, and then we had the demo crew come in. And
now, cut you off real quick right there. So you buy these properties. Is that one of the first things that happen? You're turning off the major utilities as demolition starting. You're turning off the water, turning off the electric.
Everything. It's a safety standard. So we got to make sure that the water's turned off. So if any pipes are nicked or anything, that you don't have a huge flood in the property. You got to turn off the gas and you got to turn off the electric, because God forbid something wrong happens and someone gets hurt.
So all that's turned off.
Yep.
And then what happens from there? What was the next step of you coming to the property?
Next step was having my demo crew come in, assess to see, how much garbage it was going to be and what kind of takeout scenario we were going to have over here. Before they could even get inside, like you said, all these trees that were up front, we had to take all of these down, just so they could get their trucks inside and the crew inside to see the rest of the house.
Yeah, how many trees were here? There had to be 20 trees.
It was 2 dumpsters worth of trees. So that's the only way I know it. It was just 2 full dumpsters worth of trees.
Trees alone?
Yeah, just trees alone. Trees and bushes and the grass and everything was overgrown. And we got really lucky because the day before they came in to cut it down, the town showed up and was like, you got to take these trees down. You got to get this grass cut, otherwise you're.
They were so happy to see you guys.
They
probably
were ecstatic.
So that was done on the outside so far, and now the inside was how many dumpsters of garbage that had to be?
7 30-yard dumpsters.
7 30-yard dumpsters of trash that had to be removed from this house.
Yep.
So if you guys recall last time, you'll see everything that we walked through the property just to show what the acquisition looked like. And now we're going to go inside and show you what the next stage was having everything removed from the property, all the remaining content that people leave in their houses, years over years of compilation, and now what it's like completely gutted to the studs, basically, right?
Exactly.
All right, so let's go check it out.
Let's do it.
You know what? I never actually saw in here, because when we came to the property for the short sale, you couldn't even get into this room because of this how much garbage was in here.
Yep.
You couldn't even see in here.
You couldn't so that room over there was filled with garbage, so you couldn't get to this door.
Right, that's where the door was. Yeah.
And then this door is closed shut from outside, so you couldn't get in from over here. And when you tried to open up the garage door over here, it was filled to the brim, so we couldn't even get in from there.
So this room was full as well.
Yep, totally full. We had to work our way out from every room to get all the garbage out from the front door.
Did you see when they were demoing? They had baseboard heating on the
yeah.
Like
there
9 feet up on the wall.
Space over here somewhere at some point, and then they had baseboard up here, and I don't know what they were using it for, or frankly how they were using it, because it was nothing.
They had a
but
loft
trash.
on top of this.
Yep.
So literally somebody was probably sleeping up there.
Yeah, likely.
Literally, absolutely absurd.
The way this house was laid out, there was bedrooms all over the place. The basement had bedrooms that it shouldn't have had. It was insane. Watch your step. Although I am insured, so.
So also a key point when you do purchase houses like this, you do need insurance, and
yes, you do.
Definitely a huge
property and liability. First things first.
This was when we originally walked in the house, the dining room where I said you could eat off the floor in the first video. You couldn't even see the room.
Yeah,
you couldn't see anything.
There was 2 layers of carpet over here, and then it was just filled with crap.
It's wild just to see how much stuff was in it compared to just when it's open like this.
Yeah,
it feels like a different house already.
Yeah, seeing it bare and open, it's insane. And it's crazy about this, if you take a look at the layout now, what you're standing in now is what the original house was. At some point, this was an extension, and you can see that because this chimney
was the outside of the house.
Was the outside. So this extension was built. and there's no basement underneath that. And then after that, the garage was built.
Okay, so from here, this was the original house. The floor plan has the basement from here over.
Correct, yeah.
And then this was an extension at one point, and then they added the garage at some point.
Exactly.
Wow.
So what you're standing in now is the original house.
So basically, if you guys recall when we first came to the house, this was the door we walked into. When we walked into the house, there was a wall.
Yeah,
right?
It was right here. This was the hallway. So you would enter in, there was a wall right here, and then this would be the entrance to walk into whatever this room was.
So just taking down, even if this house was to stay exactly the same, which is not happening by any means, just taking down this one partition wall that they had up there, you walked in like this little crevice to get into the house. It opens up this whole floor plan.
Opens up everything.
With literally one wall taken down.
Yeah, it's insane. You know, and we're going to try to do is we're going to try to open this up even more as much as we can and shift around some of the layouts so that this can be like a wide open layout kind of home.
Which everybody wants these days.
Yeah, exactly.
So for everybody that remembers when we first came in, the layout of this house. So basically you walked in, there was the wall up here, you had your living room, and then you walked straight into your kitchen. If you guys recall, this was the big skylights that was leaking. So it had all the sheetrock up and it was coming down. It's funny, like when you're walking, you try to remember like what it looked like prior.
See your hallway. There was like this was an office with like a built-in shelf over there somewhere. There was like
so this was the
desk over there.
Right, this was the office.
Yep.
That was piled with everything. This was the garbage room that I mentioned.
Yep, correct.
Which actually, without everything in it, is a really big room.
Yeah, it's really nice sized.
You couldn't notice anything with the amount of garbage was in here. Like, it's wild. So, on this side of the floor plan, obviously you guys are planning on opening up a lot of things. I'm sure moving around a bunch of walls.
Correct.
What's the overall plan, I guess, from like this side over for where we're standing right now? What to expect for the most part?
So this is going to be a bedroom again. We're going to make it a little bit bigger. So we're going to open up this wall a little bit. That's going to be like another bedroom ancillary office down here.
Okay.
So it'll be essentially the same layout as far as the purpose of it goes.
Okay.
We're just going to see, you know, how much more of the space that we can maximize over there. What's right behind you, what was once an office, is now going to be like an open entry foyer kind of area. And then
is the front door moving over, or the front door?
Front door's going to remain the same, but it's going to be like a wide open layout now to be really just be able to come in. We'll probably move this wall in a little bit to give that bedroom or office a little more space. Right over there is where we're going to have a full bathroom that's going to service that bedroom down here as well as the first floor in general.
And then this is all just going to be open because where the kitchen was now is not going to be a kitchen anymore.
It's actually going to move over to that
side. So we're moving the staircase from here over.
Over to there, yep. And then we're going to stack the staircase going up to the new second floor because we're going to be dormering up this house.
Gotcha. So when you say stack, it's going to be like you coming up this way, and then you're also coming up this way, right?
Yeah.
So literally, this house was a 3-bed, 2-bath, one being in the basement.
Yep.
And you're going to make it more of a open concept, 5-bedroom, 4-bathroom.
Correct.
So
including the one in the basement.
Including the one in the basement, right? So you're gonna have an ensuite bathroom, you're gonna have a main floor bathroom, you're gonna have a second floor bathroom, and a basement bathroom.
Correct.
So 4 fulls, no halves.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, it's gonna be a huge house.
We're gonna maximize.
How many square feet? Do you remember how many square feet roughly the upstairs turns?
So I think based on what we're expecting, we're gonna be adding another 1,300 square feet upstairs.
So you're literally doubling the size of the house.
Yep.
That's incredible. So for everybody that is seeing the value. So a lot of houses on Long Island right now, I'm sure you see this all the time. The prices of this house was $400,000 and you had to gut it to the studs, right? Yeah. The only way to make money for somebody to purchase this house and fix it, even if you were going to be an end user and live in it, it would have never made sense. You would never got your money back if you were to rip this thing out and basically continue on. So the only way to really make a profit for an investor, you have to go up, you have to do full dormers, you have to be willing to expand, you know, square footage in some way, shape, or form to really make the numbers work.
You need to sell it to like a first-time home buyer or somebody that's moving out of, you know, let's say Queens, or it's got a growing family and they need the space to be able to grow into.
Right.
Because the way this house was before is that just wasn't possible.
Like any houses that you bought in the, I know you're doing another one right here in Bethpage, and you know, anything that you've done, they're all pretty much dormers or brand new builds.
Correct.
To really make the numbers work. You can't
and they're
flip
all 5 bedrooms, 3 baths, 4 baths. Otherwise, it just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense, right?
No. Buyers are looking for space to be able to grow into. There's access to the basement.
Take a quick look at the basement. So, and then the plan is down here to put a brand new bathroom.
Correct. Yeah, we're working with the town to make sure that we can finish this basement. At a bare minimum, we're going to have that legal bathroom down here again because that was legalized before. And then the goal is to be able to add as much
square footage. You have good
footage
ceiling height in here.
We have great ceiling height down here. It's perfect. And so it conforms to the ceiling height requirements that would be needed in town of Oyster Bay. We're just going to maximize the square footage that we can in this house, and if that means using the basement, then that's what we're going to do. All right, let's get out of here.
The lowest garage door ever.
Still open from the top.
Gets the airflow. So next stage is basically ripping off the roof and basically chopping off the top.
Yep. Yeah, and then when we come back, we're gonna have the roof ripped off. We're gonna be framing up the second floor. We're gonna be putting the roof plywood on and then the shingles on. And then we get to start working on the inside and roughing out the inside of the house. But you'll get a chance to actually see what the second floor is gonna look like, because we'll have it all framed up.
How long does it usually take from the framing to start to the framing to be completed to the point where the walls are up and the second floor is on there?
For a job of this size, once I have the framing crew here, they'll have the roof ripped off and then the new second floor on in about a week.
Yeah. They move quick.
Yeah, they move real quick.
So the next time we'll be out here, we're gonna go through the whole second floor that's up there. You're gonna see the layout. You're gonna see what it's like from going from one floor ranch to a two-story colonial, basically.
Yeah, basically.
Right? So stay tuned for the next video, and if you have any questions, drop them below.